Telling the story we want to tell across our songs can be tricky, especially when our songs come as a stream of feelings and big thoughts. Revelatory themes like moving through a life challenge or experiencing a big transformation can be particularly difficult because those themes just feel really big and meaningful. I had a conversation with a wonderful artist and songwriter named John Sierra, and we worked through some of these questions and others to try to pinpoint what wasn't working for him in the song and how we could make the song feel stronger and finished. John does it all. He writes, he plays, he sings, he records, performs. He's a very passionate artist in tune with his feelings. But like many of us, sometimes John isn't quite clear what it is most important that he communicates through the song that he's writing. Now, we all have instincts, and John's instincts are great. And sometimes it takes a little coaxing to pinpoint what those instincts are telling us about the song we've written. Now, I asked John what inspired the song that you just wrote, and here's what he said.
So this song has kind of spanned about 2 to 2.5 years in terms of the chorus came first. I remember where I was sitting. It was an exercise that I was doing actually at a songwriting retreat, and out came this chorus, and where it stemmed from was really, I had gone through a period in my life through addiction and had destroyed basically everything that I cared about, everyone that I cared about. And in that time of my life personally, I started to learn that in stillness and in facing myself, which I am most scared of, even now it's a challenge for me, but for sure then it was like not even a thing. Well, out of that, I had actually almost written this to myself in the songwriting exercise. Like, I wrote it in the second person. Are you ready to slow down? And out of the chorus just started to come out of that. Like, am I ready to slow down? And then the last version is, I am ready to slow down. And I could not finish it for years. I have literally probably 40 variations of verse combinations that I tried to put together. And only recently in the last, by the time we're recording this, it will have been about two to 3 months ago, it started to come together. And then like the second verse, I think, came 3 to 4 weeks ago at the time we're recording this. So very new, like for it being finished. And what I started to do was actually go in deeper into the side of what drives some of like addiction tendencies and slash the guilt in the present from the thing in the past, like dealing with that on top of what is ever underneath of it. So that's where the song comes from. It's kind of this call to myself of like, am I ready to slow down? And then choosing, yes, I am. I'm ready to face what I need to face so that I can have life and hope and goodness.
John's writing about a really challenging, transformative moment in his life, and these are the kinds of ideas that can feel so monumental, they're too difficult to express with words. Let's hear the song that John wrote and find out where his expression doesn't totally line up with his hopes for what the song could be.
Can't get the blood off of my hands, the memories still dance in my head, taunting me. Shame still has a hold, the voices just won't go. My past, my judge, and I've been running for miles, but my feet haven't gone anywhere. Ain't it time to let this go? I feel what it'll take to finally face the pain, but what's the cost if I don't? Out of the chaos into the still, oh, I'm ready to slow down. Where love could be mended and pain could be healed, oh, I'm ready to slow down. Oh, I'm ready to slow down. What is mental health when I can barely face myself? Oh God, no, I'm not alone. The quiet, it taunts with the thoughts that I don't want, but they come anyway. I'm running for miles, but my feet haven't gone anywhere. There ain't a time to let this go. Out of the chaos and into the still. Oh, I'm ready to slow down. Where love could be mended and pain could be healed. Oh, I'm ready to slow down. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready to slow down, 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 down. Been running for miles, but my feet haven't gone anywhere. I'm done with the running, done with destruction. It's time, time, time to come out of the chaos and into the still. Oh, I'm ready to slow down. Where love could be mended, pain could be healed. Oh, I'm ready to slow down. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready, ready, ready to slow down, down, down. Slow down.
John and I first acknowledged that there's a lot working with the song. And sometimes just the fact that we're still tinkering with it is a sign that it's worth the work. But when I asked John, what is it that still feels unfinished, he said this.
There's like certain areas of this song where I have a sense that it's almost there.
Mm-hmm.
There's two places, which is interesting because this is the most recent, is verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's the two ending lines. Oh God, let me know I'm not alone. And the but they come anyway. And some of the but they come anyway is actually the delivery in it, in the actual melody itself, like fitting that in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think even also like that second pre-chorus leading into the chorus itself, because originally in the first verse I do that full pre-chorus, and this time I'm shortening it, which I like that feeling, but leading into that chorus, it almost feels like, is that connected enough? That's a question that's in my head. Like, is it connected enough for the narrative? And then I think those are, and then in the chorus is the line, which I actually have written a different line than what I sang, which is funny. It's where love could be mended and freedom found. Originally it was where love could be mended and pain could be healed. So the nice thing about found is the rhyme between down and found. Like that rhyme is a nice feel. So, and I was trying to tie that in as a hook, like kind of leading into the hook. So I think there as well, like I'm a little torn between, I like the lyric pain could be healed. I like what that says.
Yeah.
I also versus freedom found. So those are the three areas.
Now, as writers, our instincts send up flares that there's something wrong with an area of the song. Now, unfortunately, our instincts don't come with a toolkit that say, I hear you, here's how you should fix this. And so what John and I did was we were careful to listen to his instincts and then use only the tools that address those areas of the song. And we should be able to see whether those changes are good based on John's excitement, or if he's lost excitement and we need to try a different tool.
Let's take a look at the last line of that second pre-chorus. One thing that I notice about that is the character is stepping into the ability to slow down and reach for the freedom that is available to him. In the beginning of the song, he's tentative about it. He's focused more on the blood on his hands, the memories that are taunting him, and the shame. As the song goes forward, as often happens in song, we write about a problem because we're working through it. And your character is almost trying to convince himself that it's okay to claim the freedom that is his. He just has to allow himself to do it. And as each chorus comes, it begins to show us that he's opening up more and more to that freedom.
Whew.
I think that's the feeling I'm getting.
Sometimes just paraphrasing what the song is about helps to show our problem. In this song, John and I discovered that though his character was becoming more clear, more free, more determined, as he moved through the song, he was lyrically backpedaling to frequently show us how the singer was feeling at the beginning of the story. So our conversation now is about maintaining that movement, that progression from pain to release and freedom, from no hope to becoming hopeful.
I'm getting, and the dynamic of a song reflects that as well, right? We don't start with, guns blazing and the whole band is in and, no. When you're talking about the shame, it's sparse and it's just you and an empty room and a guitar, right? You go forward through the song and we begin to feel the victory more. And so that said, I think in the last chorus, for example, you can say freedom because now your mind is more focused on the freedom than it is the pain. And it's just a small change, right? So why not use that later in the song and refer to the pain in the first chorus, maybe the second. Second, you can go either way.
Now we go on to look at how the verses and choruses can show the transformation of a character that mirrors real life.
I love that idea.
Okay. That
I love that idea. Yeah.
All right. Because you like them both.
It feels powerful.
Yeah.
When it hits at the end, it's almost because I tried to build the song in the way, even like just my own production wise, that when you get to that last chorus, it's the like, I'm ready to slow. It's kind of the surrender moment, but arms open, hope finally,
Yes.
Which I love Freedom Found there. I think that's a beautiful idea.
Well, it's your idea. In the first chorus, you say, "Am I ready to slow down?" So this is another thing where you can slowly allow your character to transform. The first chorus, "Am I ready?" The second chorus, "I think I'm ready," or just "I'm ready." So those are just lead-in phrases. They're not the words. Those are just preamble to what you really mean to say. So don't allow your character to make these hard changes in life in the period of 30 seconds in a song, right? He can go through the same stages of slowly opening up that we do in real life. So I think those are awesome, the way that you've written it.
Now, lyrics never work alone in a song. Chords, rhythm and groove, and melody all play a part in amplifying the effectiveness of our lyric message. Now, in John's case, he noticed an area in the melody that could align better with what his lyric message is, and also acknowledged some other areas where his melody was really doing the job of amplifying the message already there.
I was going to talk about that last line of the pre-chorus. Do you know how your melody, do you notice how it falls instead of rises in pitch?
Ain't it time to let this go?
And yet, this is the point in the character's development where he's really thinking, you know what? I just might be able to slow down. If I want this, I could take it. Am I brave enough to take it? So if he's singing, "Ain't it time to let this go?" He's gaining energy. How would you sing that, John, if you were going to gain energy and embrace who that character is in the second chorus?
I'll probably begin to stack it like going up. So, running, my feet haven't gone anywhere. Ain't it time to let this go out of the chaos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that feels more declarative as well.
Wonderful word. Yeah, for sure.
Almost like, ain't it time to let this, because that's really what I wanted there is like, come on, isn't it time to let this go? it's time to let this go.
Awesome.
More declarative than introspective, you know?
For sure, that is where he's at that point. And remember, you can do anything you want to with the rhythm in that line. You're not trying to match motifs or melodic rhythms. It's really about expression, which you are the bomb at. And so, am I ready, or, ain't it time to let this go? You can repeat words. It's all about the rhythm and the emotion, just feeding right in. Your goal is to get to beat one where you're saying out of the chaos.
I love repeating time.
Okay.
Ain't it time to let this go? Da-da-da-da.
Good. Okay. Keying into stuff now go with that instinct, because your instincts are spotless. They know what to do. Okay. Your chorus just sings so great. And I loved later choruses where you say down, 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 right? That was awesome.
Thanks. I was thinking of prosody when I was singing that.
Yes.
You know?
So prosody is a weird little word that we use to describe when the musical structure, so the chords, emotions, and the melody in its rhythms and pitches, agrees and sort of amplifies and emphasizes what the words are saying with words, right? So the music is saying with music what the words are saying with words. That's prosody. And you nailed it there. That was great. Boy, there's so much that's really working with this tune.
John has gone on to finish this song and many more, and you can check out his music at this link. Now, from this session with John, I want to recap 3 important things. First, you have to acknowledge your instincts when it comes to writing a song. Now, we all have instincts, and they speak most loudly when we're describing what we don't like in a song. But if we're not able to acknowledge what is working, what is pleasing to our ears, we won't be able to isolate the things that are causing us problems. Second, we often write songs about a transformation that's happened to us or to someone else that we observe. Now, we can't write about a transformation or a monumental phase or step without having moved past it, because that's where we get perspective on what that meant. So in our songs that we write to mirror real life, we first express that there is a problem and the depth of the problem. And the longer the character lives in that problem, the more they move through it to experience the freedom and the release at the other end of the song. So instead of mixing these steps to where your singer is consistently within some of a problem and some of a solution, clearly establish each section to describe part of that timeline so your character can go from closed to fully open at the end. Third, the shapes and the rhythms of our melodies directly impact the power of our lyric. The last line of the verse, the last line of the pre-chorus, these are great areas to question if your melody can strengthen to better align with the meaning of the words that you're saying. I hope you found this video helpful and you've discovered a new artist in John who shares so many of the same challenges and triumphs that we all have with our writing. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe, and I'll see you back with more tools.